Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be talking about groceries on a carnivore diet, ideal items to buy, animals that are going to give you the most bang for your buck, and examples of what I eat in a day, what I eat in a week. And if you enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe and ring that bell so you don't miss any further videos. Ideally, you are going to be wanting to pick the fattiest cuts of meat that you can. Ruminant animals are going to be the best. So that would be cattle and lamb. So that's why everyone you see on a carnivore diet is mainly eating beef and steaks. If you're having ground beef, I usually do like 80-20. So you want a fattier version of that. I love ribeyes. I'm kind of sick of my burger patties at the moment. So I've been doing lots of steaks and lots of cheap cuts of steak. Also, incorporating some lamb is a great idea if you enjoy that. I like to keep it minimal on like fish. I will have probably like once a week or so. Chicken, I don't really love chicken. It's just like a little boring. And if you are having chicken, you want to add some fat to it because it's so lean. And obviously the best option for these would be grass-fed, grass-finished. It's going to be more beneficial for you. But again, do what you can, do what works for your budget. I do a mix of both. I wish regenerative farming with grass-fed and finished beef was more affordable because I truly believe that's how we all should be eating. So as far as pork goes, typically, I mean, everything you buy in the store, they're most likely going to be fed corn and soy and seed oil. So again, getting it from a local farm that specializes in not feeding them corn and soy would be a great option. You know, all the bacon, all that at the store, it's not actually good for you. All those omega-6 get stored in their fat and it's just not ideal. That being said, I'm not judging you. I eat grocery store bacon because the farm stuff is so expensive and that's unfortunate. But just to know that that is a good goal and that is what is, you know, ideal. We're all just doing the best we can and do what works for your budget. Another great option, but not mandatory, is organ meats. So like heart and liver and whatever else you can find. They are very nutrient packed. So it's recommended, I want to say with liver, like 4 ounces a week. So that's something you could have a small portion of once a week or have like an ounce every few days. I don't love it. I've seen people that actually chop it up into small pieces and freeze it and eat it frozen and raw. So that's interesting. I haven't tried that. Having eggs is a great option, but again, you know, like the chickens and the pigs, ideally they would not be fed corn and soy. So they do sell some of those at the grocery store, or your local farm might feed them a diet that's free of that. And animal fats. So cooking with animal fats is going to be way better for you than using any type of seed oils. I love to use tallow, which is beef fat. You could also use lard, which is pig fat. Butter, ghee, those are all really great options to use. And again, what they eat, you know, comes into play with using those fats for cooking. So the beef tallow I get is grass-fed beef. So you would want to look into stuff like that. I have, if you go into the description box, I have links in there. I have a whole shop page on my website that links out. So a lot of the stuff is on Amazon and you can find my favorite carnivore staples and just anything I love to use in the kitchen as well in that description box below. And dairy, take it or leave it. A lot of people on the carnivore diet do not do dairy. I am toying around with giving up dairy, but I love my cheese so much. So we will see how that goes. Maybe a little experiment to see how I feel, but having raw dairy would be the recommended way to go. So I have a lot of raw dairy and raw kefir, which is like a yogurt drink. Now raw just means unpasteurized. So when they pasteurize the dairy, you know, it heats it up and like you're also losing the good bacteria. So it's also more gentle on your stomach. If people have issues with dairy, a lot of the times that they can tolerate raw dairy. For snacks, I don't really snack. I'm usually pretty satisfied with my meals. I have 2 to 3 meals a day, but snack items or whatever, if you're on the go, carnivore snacks is great. I haven't tried Carnivore Crisp, but that's another brand. That is great. I have chomp bars. So as far as what I eat in a week, in a day, like I said earlier, I'm kind of over the burger patties. I went like a good 2 months having mainly that. I'm burnout, so I'm like craving steak a lot lately. I wish I could have a ribeye a day, but that is not going to happen. I found some tri-tip on sale for $4.99 a pound lately, so I've been having that pretty much for every meal. I'll add in fish about once a week or so. I've been making carnivore pizza, which uses chicken in the crust. So I am mixing up the animals a little bit. But, you know, like I said in the beginning, those ruminant animals, those are going to be like the most nutritious. It's easier to get them grass fed and grass finished. They're going to be fatty types of meat. So I love eating red meat. That's my jam. All the other animals are like a once in a while thing for me. I have 2 to 3 meals a day. When I'm having the 2 meals, I am fasting a little bit in the morning. I typically eat between 10 and 6. So I have that 8-hour eating window. The week before I start my cycle, it's recommended to not fast. So 12 hours would be considered like safe and not fasting. So that would be like getting up at 7, eating then, and then having your last meal around 6 or 7. So that's the week that I typically have 3 meals. Fasting is a whole other video we can do sometime. It has tons of health benefits, anti-aging benefits, they call it. But it's not necessary. You don't have to do it, but you know, there is a lot of positives to doing that. I have 2 favorite people I follow on that. One, he's on YouTube. Well, they both are, but Thomas DeLauer, he is amazing. And then Dr. Mindy, I'm forgetting her last name. Pelez, something. I totally just butchered that. Actually, it might be Pelz, P-E-L-Z. If I can remember, I will link them for you. So she's really great because she comes at it from like a hormone side of things. And she is who I learned about not fasting the week before you have your cycle. So they are both great to check out. And lastly, if you made it this far, thank you. Also in the description, I have a free download printable PDF for you for an ideal grocery list, and a few other tips in there as well. So if you enjoyed this, give it a thumbs up and subscribe and ring that bell, and I will see you next time.